All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to break down how you can strategically learn AI and machine learning in a world where, let's be honest, this field is changing faster than we can keep up.
So you're thinking about diving into AI? It's a question I hear all the time. And you're in exactly the right place, whether you're just starting out, you're already in the thick of it, or maybe you're even thinking about a career switch.
Here's the thing, though. We could list off 100 topics to learn, but that's not the secret. It's not just about what you learn, it's about how you learn. It's the strategy that separates the people who succeed from the ones who get stuck in tutorial land forever. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to talk about the big challenge in learning AI. Then we'll get into finding your why, learning to think like an engineer, building projects that actually matter, and then finally, we'll lay out the technical roadmap for you. Okay, let's start with the biggest hurdle. AI is this massive buzzword, right? So it's super easy to get all excited at the beginning. But that initial fire? It often fizzles out the minute you hit the really complex stuff, usually about a month in. And that right there, that's the wall most people hit. To push past that beginner stage and really get good, you need a powerful, rock-solid reason to keep going when things get tough. Which brings us to what I think is the most important and honestly the most overlooked first step of all. You have to figure out your why. You need a clear personal goal. And look, this goal is completely personal. Maybe you just want to get better at your current job. Or maybe you want to land that dedicated AI engineer role. It could be as simple as wanting to add a couple of really impressive projects to your resume, or, just wanting to feel like you actually know what you're talking about.
All right, so once you've got your why locked in, the next piece of the puzzle is to adopt the right mindset. And that means you need to start thinking like an engineer, a problem solver.
I love this analogy because it is so spot on. You'd never become a great chef by just binge-watching cooking shows, right? Of course not. You have to actually get in the kitchen, get your hands dirty, and cook. AI is the exact same way. You have to write the code. This really highlights the difference between two types of learners. There's the tutorial follower, who just copy-pastes code to get something working. And then there's the problem solver, who wrestles with the code, trying to understand the logic behind why it works. You have to be the problem solver. And that problem-solving mindset, it leads you directly to the next crucial point, which is all about the kind of projects you choose to build. You got to think about projects in two buckets. First, you have your practice projects. Things like classifying handwritten digits. They're great for learning a new technique. But then, you have your portfolio projects. These are the ones that solve a real problem, show off your skills, and make a recruiter's eyes light up. So here's your target. Your goal should be to have at least 2 of these impressive, high-impact projects that you can talk about inside and out during an interview. And hey, want to know a pro tip? If you really want to make your resume pop, build projects that are specific to the industry you want to work in. Passionate about finance? Build a fraud detection model. Into e-commerce? Make a recommendation system. It shows you're serious. So, now you've got the strategy. But what are the actual technical skills you need to build all this cool stuff? Well, let's lay out the roadmap. Okay, here's the path. First, you start with Python. It's the language of AI. You just have to know it. Then, you dive into data preprocessing with libraries like NumPy and Pandas. This is huge because real-world data is always messy. After that, you get into the fun stuff, the actual machine learning algorithms, using amazing tools like scikit-learn and PyTorch. And finally, it's not enough to just build a model. You have to learn how to manage your code with Git and deploy it so people can actually use it, maybe even hooking it up to powerful APIs. Oh, and one more thing. Please, do not forget SQL. It might not sound as exciting, but guess what? That's where most companies keep their data. If you can't get the data, you can't do AI. It's that simple.
And let's be real about the timeline for a second. To get to a place where you're comfortable and can build those impressive projects we talked about, you're looking at a minimum of 6 months of consistent, focused effort. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So, there you have it. You have the strategic map and you have the technical path. The only question left is, what problem are you excited to solve? What are you going to build first? Thanks so much for watching.